While in its most simplified version, Tolstoy's philosophy can be said to investigate the limits of human vision. One of the many qualities that make Tolstoy's novels stand out is the breadth of its own. War and Peace is a multi-genre narrative consisting of a philosophical treatise in which the author expounds his views on life and history, a historical narrative which with astounding meticulousness narrates the events of the Franco-Russian Wars, as well as a novelistic account of lives and ideas of Russian gentry between the years of 1805, when the novel begins, and 1820. As Tolstoy himself writes in a few words apropos of the book War and Peace, and I quote, "It is not a novel, even less is it a poem, and still less a historical chronicle." End of quote. It is, of course, the sum of all of these things, and more. While Tolstoy preserves straightforward philosophizing until volume 3 of the novel, as if waiting for the reader to be sufficiently hooked to begin the necessary sermon, the novel's philosophy in the previous parts comes forth through the strength of its imagery. In the passage we have chosen for you, The Crossing of Ants is a powerful example of both the range of different voices within the novel and the novel's imagery. It is by contemplating these that we invite you to meditate upon the novel's philosophy. So our main goals in teaching this fragment consist in two interrelated strategies. On the one hand, we aim to show Tolstoy's interplay with points of view in the novel, and it is a formal device that brings about the subtle changes of tone in narrator's voice, as well as perspective from which the reader experiences the narrated events. The range in points of view in this particular passage extends from the historian's voice in the first paragraph to that of the emotionally unattached perspective of Prince Nesvitsky, a minor character, to the point of view of the philosopher discussing the common experience of soldiers at war, to the emotionally affected stream of consciousness of one of the novel's main protagonists, Nikolai Rostov, at the very end of the fragment. On the other hand, we want to compare the impact of this encounter between Russian and French armies and the existential questions of life and death that accompany it. This impact has on two characters, Prince Nesvitsky and Nikolai Rostov. This comparison in turn will be done against the background of our analysis of changes in the narrator's point of view and narrative perspective. Thus, we'd like to push you to think about the differences and similarities between the historian's point of view and that of Nesvitsky, the philosopher's understanding of soldiers' trials in battle, and Nikolai Rostov longing for his family as he witnesses death for the first time.